The story of Samson and Delilah appears in the book of Judges, chapter 16 of the Bible. During the time when judges ruled Israel, Samson was the chosen man of God. It was his destiny to deliver Israel from the Philistines' dominion from the outset. Unfortunately, despite having superhuman strength, Samson was a very weak person inside. One aspect of this character flaw was his affection for Philistine women. Delilah, a beautiful Philistine woman, became the love of Samson's life. However, Samson did not know that she was not a woman he could trust. Delilah received an offer of money from the Philistine rulers if she discovered the secret of his strength. Accepting the offer, Delilah then gave Samson an excellent meal and asked him how he was such a strong man. In response, Samson said that if he were tied up with 7 new bowstrings that had not been dried, he would lose his strength. Then Delilah told the rulers, who told her to tie up Samson while he slept. Delilah was surprised to find out that Samson had deceived her, and he had managed to escape easily. Samson again told her that he would lose his strength if he were tied up with bowstrings that had never been used. Delilah tried to trap Samson again while he slept, but he managed to escape once again. As Samson did not reveal the secrets of his strength, Delilah doubted his love for her. The next day, Delilah continued to ask about Samson's strength and how he could be so strong. Her constant questioning finally led him to tell her that he had received this strength from birth, by the grace of God, but if his hair were cut, he would lose that strength. That night, while he slept, Delilah cut Samson's hair and called the Philistine soldiers, who managed to capture Samson. After they gouged out his eyes, they took him to prison in Gaza. He was made a prisoner to work as a slave in the prison mill. However, the hair on his head, which symbolized his strength and the glory of God, began to grow again. The lords of the Philistines gathered to rejoice on a certain occasion, before Dagon, their god. They rejoiced because they said that their God had delivered their enemy into their hands. Samson was taken to dance before the people gathered in their hall. Samson asked to be placed between the 2 pillars that supported the building. The building was full of men, women, and children by the thousands, who came to enjoy the show. Samson made his final prayer to God and asked God to strengthen him to avenge the Philistines. He made a desperate request to God. He said, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then, with all the strength he had left, he pulled down the pillars of the building. The house collapsed on all who were inside, and all who were there were killed. Now, the question is, what can we learn from the story of Samson and Delilah? Well, there are numerous lessons to learn from this tragic story of a powerful man, anointed from his mother's womb, but who ended up becoming a pastime for the uncircumcised worshippers of Dagon. Some of these lessons are: the first lesson is that Samson was a child born of prayer. Even before he was born, his parents asked God how he should be trained. We can say that his parents did their best to raise him in a godly way. Second lesson: Samson was arrogant, probably because he believed that his strength could get him out of any trouble. He did many things out of arrogance, which ultimately cost him his 2 eyes and his life. Regardless of our abilities, positions, or strength, we should remember to remain humble, looking at this story. Third lesson: let's be careful with whom we share our secrets. Samson shared the secret of his strength with a hostile woman. Although Delilah pretended to be in love with Samson, she never truly loved him. She was just bait to capture Samson. Fourth lesson: as Christians, let's be sensitive about the information we give to people. Samson was not sensitive enough to know which information to give and which to withhold. He revealed secrets that cost him his life. Fifth lesson: Samson was blatantly disobedient to God and his laws. As an Israelite, he was not supposed to marry Philistines. But on 3 different occasions, he chose to marry Philistine women. This disobedience cost him his life. Sixth lesson: although Samson was physically strong, he was morally weak. Time and time again, we read about the Spirit of God coming upon him and empowering him to do great things. But he lacked moral strength. He disobeyed his parents' will and made many foolish decisions. Seventh lesson: this last and perhaps the most important lesson of all is that God prefers to forgive rather than judge those who serve him in his purposes, and this is the case with Samson. Furthermore, Samson is mentioned as a man of faith in the Holy Scriptures, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 32. Now, it's obvious that no one is perfect. God led him within his plan as much as possible, even though he deviated from God's purpose and reaped death as a consequence. He is willing to meet us exactly where we are in life, flaws, failures, and all. And that's what makes God great and merciful. Let's think about these lessons and how we can use them in our lives. God bless you.